Hi guys, I silenced this video because I didn't want a copyright. But the reaction from Kieran from watching Mimi gave me life. Somebody should have picked his jaw up off the floor because from the moment she started dancing until she finished, he was gone. Mimi has converted him, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it, and I can't wait. Hey there, thanks for stopping by, it's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island UK, season 11, episode 20. Sean's still on cloud nine. He's very happy that he was able to get a kiss from Matilda. He is telling anyone with ears to hear that he's excited. And he's all giddy and he's bubbly. And at one point, Kieran had to say to him, "You need to calm down. You need to calm down. Otherwise, you're going to give her the ick the more you talk about it." And he said, "Well, I don't care. I'm excited." And it's like, is this the first time a girl has kissed him in his life, or has he kissed a girl before? I don't know. It's coming across as, virgin sort of type guy or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe it's just me assuming incorrectly. You then have Nicole speaking to the girls and sort of saying to the girls, she feels some type of way because Kieran told her that he slept with 120 people. And it's like, I've been saying this and I'll continue to say this. She needs to make a decision. Does she want to continue with this guy or does she not? She's complained about his age. She's complained that he's very immature. She's complained about him cheating. She's complained about him having sex with 120 people. She said she hasn't got a very good track record with rugby players. So why do you continue to persist on this relationship outside of the fact that he's from the same, area as you? He's from Wales, you're Welsh, and that's it. There's nothing else that makes me believe you really like this man like that. You like the fact that he's been able to sort of close himself off from entertaining any of the other girls, and that he's sitting there and he's there for you and he's willing to entertain and sort of ask for forgiveness anytime you want him to. Is willing to sort of boost your ego by constantly taking responsibility even when he's not wrong. I don't get that. You then have Sean. I called this. He's regurgitating everything he heard during his conversation with Ayo and Connor, sort of why Connor chose Grace to Joey. And it's like, why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to start beef in the villa? Have the producers fed you this nonsense? Or are you doing it because you are in a couple and you feel you're very secure, so you want to create drama for other people? Make it make sense. I don't get it. And Joey, I think, is very insecure. I think he's very insecure. I think he can't fathom the fact that maybe, just maybe, his girl really likes the chocolate boys. That's all I can say because she really liked Connor. Well, she really liked Omar. She kept saying if Joey wasn't, they should have explored things with Omar. Now she's gone to Connor. And then she pretends to play dumb and, oh, I don't know why they're choosing me. I told them I'm closed off. I'm not interested in anything. I don't get it and I'm not buying it. So you have Connor come up and ask to have a conversation with her. After she told Joey, do I need to tell him again? Do I need to tell him again? If you tell him once, he will understand you. You don't need to keep repeating yourself. He's not dumb. He can understand. You tell him once and he will understand that you really don't want anything to do with him, and he will move on. You gave him the green light, and this is why he told you you're the type of girl he would go for on the outside. So he's chosen to go after you instead of taking the easy route and going for someone he's not interested in. I don't get it. And they sat down. Oh, I just wanted to let you know, yes, I don't believe in the word closed off, but we are on the way there. Well, the two of you were on the outside. You dated, you had the summer romance, as you said. You tried to make it work, it didn't work. Now you're in close proximity, it's working again. What's to say once you leave the villa, it won't stop working? So I guess where he's coming I get where he's coming from. I get his rationale, and I don't understand why she can't get that. Um, you then have Ronnie be called by Matilda and Harriet because Harriet feels some type of way in regards to the comments that were made by Jess, and I have to agree with with the girls for calling Ronnie. I wish they'd also called Jess, but then it would have been a very confrontational situation. So I think they were trying to avoid the beef or the drama, or maybe the producer said don't. And Ronnie's like, I didn't promise her that there was a possibility things would work between us. I just said if you had chosen me, things might have ended up differently. But that's not to say that. And I tried to be as polite and as honest as I could without hurting her feelings. And I told her, I hope somebody comes in that's just for you. And it's like, I don't get what Jess doesn't understand. I think it's more about Jess's ego, the fact that she can't fathom that Ronnie has chosen Harriet over her. All the islanders get ready for bed, and you have, Joey. Joey is very insecure, he's very intimidated, but he tries to make it seem like he's not, because he said the same thing to Oma, that you're not competition, and yet his actions show otherwise, because of the fact that he was making out with Grace before she went to bed. And good night, good night, good night, darling. In the morning, first thing he has to greet her. I think this part of me thinks that the reason why they separated Joey and Grace is because they were tired of them having sex in the bedroom. I think the other islanders must have been complaining, so they looked for a solution to that problem, and that's why they asked Connor to pick her. That way, they could separate them for a bed, because it was becoming a bit too much every single night. Every single night, other people need to sleep. It's not fair on them. Anyway, so you have in the morning, you have Harriet have a conversation with Jess, and Jess is like, oh, at times other people have sort of taken away, or have done things that are inconvenient to my timing. And so yesterday I felt the need to talk to him, and that's why I did so. And it's like, well, yes, you felt the need to talk to him, but still at the end of the day, you could have gone about it a different way. You could have gone about it a different way, because you didn't take into consideration the fact that Harriet was coming from a date and she was on a high. You could have waited until the morning. It's not like you were being evicted last night that you needed to address it. So it was very insensitive of you. And for you to make an excuse to say, I see Harriet as a little sister, oh, please sit down and keep quiet. We're not here for that nonsense, and we're not buying that. So please, can you try something different, or can you try a different excuse? Um, you then have, Connor, he's just sitting with Ayo and Ronnie, and he's just sort of lamenting about his concern that he's coming to the villa looking for love. But the problem is, because he's coming a couple of weeks in, people have already sort of settled in their couples and are not really open, even though they say they're open to exploring. They're not really open to exploring connections with anyone. And so he's struggling to sort of find a connection with someone. That's what more or less you're saying. And the boys were sort of, Ronnie was encouraging him that you can't say, it's like swimming upstream. Just keep going, just keep going. You never know, things are constantly changing in here, so you might be surprised that actually you might get an opportunity with somebody else, which was cute to see. Which was cute to see that at least the boys are supportive and they're giving him advice, and they really want what's best for him. You then had Mimi and Ayo having a conversation. I love it. I love it. They seem to be in a very peaceful place, and it's sad that because they're very peaceful, the producers have decided not to show anything with them, and it's like, why? Why should we only be shown a couple when they are struggling? Why should we not get the opportunity to see a couple when they're going through a good time, so that we know that yes, relationships have their downs, but they also have their ups. So it's good to have the variety. They receive a text message that it will be a heart rate challenge, and I can't wait. I want to see. I don't know who. I have high hopes for Mimi. I have high hopes for who's the dancer. I don't know who's the dancer. No, nobody else. I want to see what Kieran does. I want to see what Kieran does. That's someone I have high expectations for as well. The islanders go and get ready for the heart rate challenge. The girls, I'm sorry to say, they were underwhelming. In my opinion, they were underwhelming. I wasn't impressed by their performances, to say the least, because I feel like some of them resorted to sucking fingers to make up for poor dance skills. There wasn't actually a performance that you could actually see that and think, oh my God, this person is doing amazing. Apart from jumping onto their partners and sort of kissing their partners, most of them. People like Matilda, that wasn't great. Even Grace, not impressed. Um, Nicole, not impressed. And oh my God, Uma did amazing. Uma did amazing. I can't fault her. But Mimi might have brought Kieran to the dark side. Oh my God, Kieran, I worry about him, because the way he was so shocked, his jaw was on the floor. He couldn't even pick it up. If the producers, if they say his heart rate wasn't raised by Mimi, then I'll be shocked, because at the end of the day, his face when Mimi came in front of him, because they are friends. So I like, one thing I like is she didn't grind on the guys. She was just dancing there and leaving them to imagine what was taking place. All of them were impressed. You could tell Kieran was really excited, his eyes. And then when she slapped his knees, he just looked at her like, when she moved on to the next person, he could hardly breathe. He was just like, oh my God, what's happening here? What do I do? What do I do? How do I save myself? How do I stop my heart rate from going up? I loved Mimi's routine. And then when she danced on Ayo, poor Kieran was gone. poor Kieran was gone. He was convinced he's converted. He's converted. Nicole had better be careful with what happens when Casa comes because he couldn't even close his mouth. He's just sat there with his mouth open from the moment Mimi started dancing until she walked off. And Ayo was excited. Ayo was excited. It was cute to see, and it was quite impressive. This is the only time I think we actually saw someone properly dance a routine and show that they actually put some thought into what they were doing. I loved the way she was dressed, how sort of very sort of reserved her dressing was. What do I think about Grace? Grace, the outfit looked cute, but the performance was underwhelming. It was underwhelming. Uma, I think she really tried her best with what she has, but I wish she had done a lot more. But maybe she was just trying to be reserved. And then with Harriet, Harriet was amazing. Harriet actually did very well. The rest of the girls, I don't know what they were doing. I really don't know what they were doing. But otherwise, it is what it is. Now it's time for the boys. The boys, they did the best they could with what they had because it wasn't great. It really wasn't great. I well, I think some of them looked great. Like Kieran looked great before he stripped off. Ayo looked amazing. I loved Connor's outfit. And I think that's it. The rest, I don't even know. They all resorted to licking and kissing people. That's it. Because they couldn't dance. And I expected more from Ayo, but then maybe he decided to be more reserved. Maybe he didn't want to make a fool out of himself. But it was okay. And Sean is doing a bit too much. With the ring at the end, that was a bit too much. That would give me the cringe or the ick if I were the girl that is after, because that's going way overboard. No. It's a no for me. It's a no. It's definitely a no because it's coming on a bit too strong, and this is why Kieran was telling him that you need to slow down a bit, otherwise you're going to give her the ick. And I'm surprised she hasn't yet got the ick from him. I would have got the ick, seriously. I would have got the ick because it's a bit too much. You can only smile at so much. You can only put up with so much before you're like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. And for me, it definitely ain't it. I think he's done a bit too much. I think he needs to stop. But it was a cute challenge. It's sad that we didn't get to see any dancing. We got to see more licking and sucking and whatever else, and kissing and carrying, but we actually didn't get to see the dancing that would sort of provoke a reaction or a heart rate to go up. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Also announced, am I shocked? Not really. Not really. The producers, this is why I say they need a board so that we actually see in real time and not them trying to stir up trouble, because most of the times I believe they give results that sort of are just there to sort of instigate and start a fight between a couple. And this is what I think happened here. Anyway, the boys are up first. Ayo's heart rate was raised by Mimi. Makes sense. He was ecstatic. Sean was raised by Jess. Surprise. Joey was raised by Nicole. I didn't get that. Ronnie was raised by Jess. I don't get where that came from. I think they just are trying to create or bring Jess into the love triangle and say he still feels some type of way about you, even though we all know and we all heard him say no, he doesn't feel it that way. And then Connor was raised by Mimi, and Kieran was raised by Grace, and then we have Will was raised by Uma. That was cute in the sense that there's only at least two couples there. They raised each other's heart rates. That was good. And then Joey, apparently his heart rate was raised by. And then for the girls, it's interesting in the sense that Jess, apparently her heart rate was raised by Ronnie, which is just them creating drama for nothing. Harriet was raised by Ronnie, makes sense. They're in a couple. Uma was raised by Will, amazing. They're in a couple. Mimi was raised by Connor, but then I wouldn't be surprised because we had Connor twerking upside down on Uma, so maybe that scared the bejesus out of Mimi. And even her friend Kieran said, yeah, because he was shaking his ass right in front of her, so that's why her heart rate went up. I love Mimi and Connor's friendship in the sense that they're very supportive and protective of one another. When people are saying anything that might sort of come across as negative, they're quick to defend one another. I love that. You had Nicole, her heart rate was raised by Kieran, so she's upset that his was raised by Grace. But we all know he really fancied Grace. He said that at the start, so I don't get why. And then we had Grace, hers was raised by Ayo. Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It must be a duck. I'm going to say it. It seems like Grace really likes the darker skinned guys, and I'll leave it at that because her actions have shown that. So, and her words have shown that. So it is what it is. It was a great episode. Apparently, there are two new bombshells coming in. They're coming in today, Jess and Joey. And Joey's reaction, I didn't like it. Even Grace's, oh, whatever, reaction, I didn't like it. If you two like each other so much, why should you be worried that a bombshell is coming in? I hope the girl goes for Connor, and I hope the boy goes for, well, I want him to go for Matilda. I want him to go for Matilda because Sean, I'm not buying whatever he's trying to sell. He needs to go back to Jess, and the two of them can be voted out of the villa. But anyway, I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 19. Bye, guys.